Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to show you how to make this Awash in Beauty layering card. So this is the suite here, Awash in Beauty, page 66 and 67 in the catalogue. So we're using these papers up here, which are gorgeous. So this one, you could just basically put on a card and put a sentiment, job done. We're just using this little blue one here. So you've got kind of more floral patterns on one side and then just different kind of muted patterns on the other side. Here's a stamp set, so we're using this one and this one here. And then with the dies, you've got this one here included, which is like a lattice, so you can either use it in full or you can cut it, and then these match all these ones. So let me go ahead and show you the supplies we need to make this. Now I did actually film this video last night and got to the end and realized I didn't press record. So yeah, so I made a card with no video. I'm recording now, obviously. So you need a piece of thick basic white cardstock. In the UK here, this one measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and I've scored it in half. You need a piece of polished pink cardstock. This measures 5 3/8 by 1 7/8. Now this is a really lovely vellum. I don't think many people have spotted these in the catalogue, but you get each design. These are 12 by 12, and each of these designs comes in a black version and in a white version. So we've got maps here in black, 2 sheets also in white, a typeset, you see that, in white, and again the same in black. You get 2 sheets of each, and then the script. So this is the black version, and obviously I've used the white one. But if you are a bit puzzled as to where to find it in the catalogue, sorry, I should have got this page ready, but it is, let me just find it here, because even demos are missing this in the catalogue, and it's a real shame because it's really good. So it's on page 139, and it's just here. So beneath the rose gold speciality paper, this little one here, vellum layering design, so 12 by 12 sheets. It's really good value, £9.50 for 12 sheets. Gorgeous. Okay, so this piece, I don't know if I actually told you what it measured, measures 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. The designer series paper measures 2 1/2 by 4 inches, and then I've gone ahead and cut these from the stylish shapes. I'll just show you here, similar to the what were they called, stitched shapes before. But you get layering squares, circles and banner pieces. It's really handy, and I've used the second biggest and the third biggest for this one, just to create this frame here and the little offset piece. Then you need some scraps of basic white to do the stamping. So let's go ahead, I'll show you how to make this. Now when you're attaching this together, there is a right side and a wrong side, you'll see on the script, or on the vellum, sorry, but some of the writing goes this way and some goes this way, so just have a look to see what looks best. And when you're gluing vellum, unfortunately it does show, you can see little dots of glue here, but I've just put 3 little dots along here. But this piece under here, go for it. You can stick this down really well because nobody's going to see. So that's going to be on this side. So I'm going to flip it over here and put some glue on this piece, not too far down, and then just a dot, just to pin this in place. I haven't really come across a way that you can stick vellum without it showing the glue slightly, although some people don't know, but there is a spreading end at the end of this glue, so you could smooth it out and it might not show as much, but I'm just going to go with this for now. Okay, so flip this over and stick it down, and there'll be a small border all the way around. Okay, and then so you can see that shows a little bit, but actually these little dots on this side don't really show, so that's great. Then we're going to pop it on the card here and have a kind of even border top, side and bottom. Yes, it's slightly annoying that I filmed this once already, but I should have checked it was filming. But anyway, there we go, lesson learned. So which way up? I'm having it this way. Yeah, so you're just going to line that up roughly with a bit of a border all the way around those 3 sides. Okay, and then with your designer series paper, gosh, that's a bit wonky. Let's push that in a bit. I've got time before it dries. Yeah, there we go. And then with the designer series paper, this is just going to let's bring this one back in so you can show what you're working to. That's just going to sit like that, so overlapping slightly. I'm just going to clear my glue a bit because it's got a bit kind of caught up around the edge. That's better. Okay, so glue on this piece. On here, and that one's going to get stuck about there. Okay, now with these, with this frame, I've propped it up. You can probably see there a little gap. And I've used, these are great for small, kind of long, thin dies, letters maybe. These are our adhesive strips in the catalogue. I think you get 2 or 3 of these in a set, maybe 2, I can't quite remember. But you're just going to come along here and just cut some sections and just pop them on the back here. With your stitched frame, there is a side that looks better with the stitching, so just make sure you know which side you're putting this on the back, and you just, doesn't have to go right to the end. You could use the little pieces. If you don't have these, use on your dimensionals, you could, you know, cut up the side, especially on the minis. They've got a whole strip where it looks easy to cut, so just use what you've got there. But obviously you don't want this to particularly show. Okay, and one more on here. And I'm not going to stick this down even when we stamp the flower straight away, because there are different ways. I've got it so that it kind of offsets like this. You could have it so that it sits over the top. You could have this at an angle, however you want to do it. Okay, so the choice is yours. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the flowers. Now with this one, I stamped off once to get not such a bold colour, so I'll show you what I mean by that. I need to get a scrap of paper here to stamp on as well, because I stamped last night. I've used the bit I was going to use. Okay, this will do. So there's a flower. So I'm stamping in polished pink. So I'm inking it up there, then on some scrap paper or on my grid, I'm just lightly stamping it off, and then I'm going to stamp the flower on here. It's up to you. You could go full on colour, but that's the difference there, okay? And then the stem I'm stamping in Granny Apple Green. It's in the rest of the designer series paper in some of the other papers, that colour, so that's why I've chosen that one. And we're going to cut these out with the dies, so it doesn't matter too much if you've got any extra little bits. Oops, that didn't come out so well. Let's try again. I'm inking up one bit. I think it's meant to be quite sketchy because they're distinctive stamps anyway. There we go. So yeah, don't worry about this bit. Obviously, if you're stamping it straight on a card, you might want to check that you haven't got that before. So to cut these out, and I set this one up actually because I was going to put it through last night. Just a little tip when you're cutting out dies like this, so they stay in place while you're cutting it, just use some washi tape. If you still have some, we used to sell it. If not, post-it note, the sticky bit will work just fine as well. But just stick it to the edge of the die and then the bit of the scrap paper. Don't stick it over the stamped image because it might rip when you take it off. But it just helps when it goes through the cutting machine. Helps the die not move. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so you see they've stayed in place. It's cut through. So let's pop those out. And then you can, you know, take the dies off, remove those bits as you go. So get rid of that a second. Now what I wanted to just show you was how I played around with this to layer it up. So I popped that down. I decided I wanted my leaf underneath the frame on top kind of offset a bit. Let's see, about that. And then with this flower, if you flip it over, I've stacked 2 dimensionals in the middle just to bring it up above the, so put one on, take the backing off and stack another one directly on top. So it's just to lift, oh, I'm not going to take that off a minute, just to lift it above the frame. And then you can play around to see how you want that to be. So do all that first before then sticking anything down, because it just gives you a little chance to, you know, play around. Say if you wanted this one to be at an angle, you can have a look to see how it all looks. It looks quite cute actually. I may do that. But this one I just lined it up quite straight. So I'll just give you a variation. And actually I stamped with my sister when she was doing this class, and she angled hers up, and it looked great. So I'm going to do the same. We quite like offset in our family. So with this one, let me just check how I wanted it again. I want that to come over a bit. Shall I have it lined up? I don't know what to do now. Maybe I'll have it in line like that. So I'm going to stick this leaf straight down just with some glue. And the stem is quite big, so you can easily get some dots of glue going down there. Sometimes it's really fiddly, and then I would suggest using an adhesive sheet. But okay, so I'm going to pop that one on there, and then take the backing off of your dimensional strips or little bits that you've cut from your dimensionals. Just checking we're still filming. I'm a bit paranoid now, but yay, I'm still here. There we go. Okay, so I think I quite liked it just lining up there. Okay, let's go with that. And then, like I said, I've double stacked the dimensionals on the back of this one so that it raises it up above the frame. So I'm just going to take that one off, choose which way you want your flower to go up, and then pop that on. So you see, more straight but offset. This one angled, offset. Both gorgeous. Okay, so you want to take some twine, some white baker's twine, and this is we'll take plenty, probably about 8 inches, because you're going to tie a bunny ears bow. So just get 2 loops. I've actually got loads here, so I didn't need that much. 2 loops, and then you're going to tie these loops in a knot. Now, of course, you could tie the bow around the stem if you wanted to. So however you want to do that before you stick it down. Although if you're following my instructions, we've already stuck it down. So obviously very lopsided here. So I'm just going to hold the knot and pull the ends until I get the size pretty much that I want. And then you just keep then tightening these little loops, and then keep pulling, hold the knot, pulling these. It does twist sometimes, this baker's twine, but we can show it who's boss a little bit. I might have made that a bit small, but there we go. And then what I should suggest is sticking this on, that one's being a bit naughty, but never mind. Sticking it on with a rolled up glue dot. So take one off with your scissors, or you take your pick tool, just give it a little roll up here, and then pop it where you think you're going to want it. I'm having it quite near my frame. And then pop your bow on top with the naughty piece that's not playing ball. I would probably retie this if I wasn't on film, but there we go. Behave. There we go. And then when you're cutting twine, I did do loads here. Just hold the ends quite taut when you're cutting, if you don't have ribbon scissors to hand, because it will make your life a bit easier. And then finally, to finish off, love these, we're using the brushed brass butterflies, quite tricky to say. So I'm taking a large one, popping it on here, and then a smaller one, and he's flying up here. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed making it. That's my Awash in Beauty layering card. Take care, see you soon, bye.